Going on, guys? Jet Fan here. You're going to see Kansas on the screen. Just so you know, PS5 gameplay for Legends here. Had some problems with it. Basically, the file size on this thing, it was absolutely massive. And took forever for my editing software to render it. So anyway, that's where we're at. So this video took quite a lot to get done here. So anyway, we're on in the Kansas here, and basically this is post update. So you're going to see the Kansas where she sits now currently in the game. The reload was improved, etc. So that is post update Kansas, and I like to run Willis Lee on it. Lee, to me, there's two reasons for it. Number one, I think that the 5 heal battleships are a big upgrade over the 3 heal, in the sense that they do what a battleship's role is, and that is to take shots, be tanky, and be able to attract a substantial portion of the enemy team's potential damage and fire, and still survive and stay on the board. So Kansas does that. There are some weaknesses with Kansas. It's not the armor on paper. It's the armor that you actually play with in the game. In the game, the armor has a tendency to catch stray shells up top by the superstructure area, but by the turrets, and it has a tendency to arm those shells. So you're not going to see a lot of citadels if you're angled decently. The bow armor on this thing and the plating all around is actually great. So you're not going to see that, which is a benefit, and it is something you can definitely hang your hat on and count on in the Kansas, is that your armor is going to hold up for the most part. See there, 14.5 kilometers in the King George. We don't have anything to do with dispersion on here. This build is basically set up to be a hybrid brawler / tank build with a little bit extra range in there, just to kind of help get those main guns, the potential to shoot those main guns a little bit further out. See there, we ricocheted some shells from light British cruiser. And again, like I was saying before, you're not going to be too concerned about those. You're going to be able to bounce a substantial portion of those. So again, we send another sailboat here at King George, and we end up taking him out for the first blood. 5 standard pens and 1 over pen. So 6 of the 12 shells I sent out hit, but if I was a 9-gun battleship, 6 out of 9. You know what I'm saying with that? So what I'm basically saying is, by having 12 opportunities to do damage, 12 barrels, 12 main battery guns, even with a Willis Lee shooting at about 15 kilometers, you can still expect to do a substantial amount of damage. So definitely something to look at. Definitely something to keep in mind as you move forward here. So yeah, I just, if you're thinking about, do I want to grind that secondary U.S. battleship line to get to Kansas, if you would have asked me, say 4 months ago, I would have said it's a good ship, but it's a tough ship to play. Now I would say that it is a great ship, and because they cut the reload down by about 4 seconds and they improved it in that aspect, I really do think that this ship is probably one of the best at the tier, if you know how to get your ship into position. There are weaknesses with this ship. This ship is a giant, in my opinion. Basically, it's a Colorado class look. Okay, obviously the ship was never put into service, but it's a theoretical idea. So if I took Iowa's guns, right, and I put those guns on a Colorado hull with a substantial armor upgrade, that's what you're going to end up with. So you're going to end up with the drawbacks of the Colorado with the benefit of the Iowa, in the sense of the main batteries, and you're kind of going to end up with this hybrid. So what you need to do when you play this ship, first and foremost, you need to be aware of your map. That's for every ship in the game, by the way. You need to know your map. You need to know where your enemies are. You need to know where you're likely to be engaged from, number 1. Number 2, you have to anticipate where the battle's headed. And that, again, comes off of map awareness. So there's an underlying theme with this ship. If you're going to play it well and you're going to be an influential factor, you need to have good map awareness and anticipate where the battle's going to be going. So again, you see there, close quarters. With this Willis Lee, I actually do have the secondary mod on, so again, it's not great secondary range, but you saw there, we got a destroyer inside 5 kilometers, chewed him up a little bit, and eventually the secondaries finished him off for the sinking. So, I personally think that benefit, having those secondaries a little bit, like, just a little bit improved, can save your behind in situations like that. So, that's our second sinking, like I said, close quarters, because of the secondaries. So back to my main point about Kansas. You need to anticipate because you don't have the speed to recover. So if you push into a spot that is detrimental, you're not going to have the breakaway, pull away speed to put yourself in a situation to open that distance and get out of there. Okay, you're going to struggle to do that. So once you're into a fight, you're pretty much engaged in that fight until either the enemy decides they want to disengage or you're able to find some cover. And then you can disengage that way because you're really not going to be able to outrun anybody. So you see here, prime example, Brandenburg. I'm kiting away right now. This Brandenburg is closing the distance, okay? It doesn't matter. I'm going 20 knots in the water. He's probably doing 27, 28. So, I mean, even if I tried, obviously he's going to close the distance on me. So you see those secondaries from the Brandenburg opening up, doing some pretty solid damage. I must say, on a side note, I am very much looking forward to the Brandenburg. That should be coming, 2 weeks for me, once the campaign finishes out. So, very interested to see how that shit plays. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, but personally, I think it's basically the Tier 7 version of a, it's an Odin Turrets hybrid with like a Scharnhorst kind of feel at Tier 7, right? But with obviously 4 turrets. So very excited. I like those German battleships. I especially like the fact that they have torpedoes. So very interested to see how that ship plays. But anyway, let's get back to Kansas here because that's what this video is all about. Kansas is worth it. Okay, bottom line. Just to round it out, it's worth it. If you really want to go with the dispersion build, you can. Okay, you can do a lot of damage with a pure dispersion build and really be a punishing factor and punishing force. But you see here, I've taken a lot of damage, a lot of fire damage, even without flammable cannoneer like on a Sims build where you're trading off that increased fire chance for the dispersion and range. I have not done that with Lee, and you saw how many fires I had set on me. So, again, 5 heals is very powerful if you know when to use them. And unfortunately in this game, I waited a little too long to pop my first heal, so I'm not going to end up being able to use all of them. So, again, this battle's kind of developed pretty quickly here. So Poltava right there, he's going down. We end up getting him. Obviously, of course, you get the Citadel because that's how it always goes in this game. Key's got torpedoes. We know this. I'm in a little bit of a bad spot because I'm kind of pinned against the island here. If you look on the minimap, you see off of my port side, I have an island, and I really can't get to that opening. And the way that opening is set between those 2 islands, I would have to almost make like a pure 120-degree turn. I mean, it would literally, I'd have to basically pick my ship up, pivot it from the 12 o'clock position to like the 7 o'clock position. And that was my dog in the background right there. Okay. All right. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry about that. My new puppy, he's gets a little excited about stuff outside. So anyway, well, like I said, I'd have to basically pick it up. So I at this point, I drew the conclusion that, there has to be, you just have to turn in and I have to engage. I have to turn in and I have to engage his key. We send a decent salvo, got him for 12K. And then he sends a salvo back and he gets us for also like 8K. So, we're trading with the key here. I know he's got torpedoes. I'm slightly concerned about those torpedoes. I'm basically trying to stay on the steady course. I'm going to try to open the door again. You see other ships are actually shooting at this key as well. At this point, I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, there's the torpedoes, so I'm not in torpedo threat range right now. So now it's just me against the key. I'm going to aim at the turrets. Of course, I don't do any substantial damage to the turrets. I get 5 ricochets off the turrets. He sends another salvo. I thought that was going to be the enemy. Turns out it wasn't. So we're at 7K again. Again, I throw the repair party, or not the repair party, the damage control on. I'm trying to get that extra turret back. And then there's more torpedoes. So there was that destroyer was also around here. And he was kind of lying in wait for me. Could have had a kill if I wouldn't have turned out. But we ended up turning out and saving ourselves. So I'm waiting for that rear turret to get on. We got another second on there. I'm going to aim at that upper belt. Why am I aiming at the upper belt? Because at this angle I won't be able to penetrate the side wall armor. So I basically was forced in that situation to have to aim at that upper belt. I got lucky because he probably would have killed me if I didn't end up getting some friendly support and end up taking him down. Friendlies ended up taking him down. Otherwise, I probably would have been going down to the bottom. But just a quick look at the Kansas. This Kansas had 0 dispersion influences on it. So again, Willis Lee was my commander. You've seen in my other videos my Willis Lee builds and my preferences on Willis Lee. Torps are coming inbound here, and we're going to take a decent chunk there. But torpedo reduction on this pretty solid. So definitely worth it. Yudachi pops up there. He's going to be going down here in a second. He's the only ship left, and he's definitely getting focused. So he's going to be heading down to the bottom, trying to steal one more last kill, but you're going to see there he goes. So again, like I said, quick look at the Kansas. Post-update, great ship. Probably one of the better ones, Tier 7, if you know how to position yourself, angle, and basically maximize your shots. So if you liked the video, leave it a like, guys. We'll see you out on the high seas. Take care.